بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى كل من تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وبعد، اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. وبعد. Respected brothers, and I think it's only sisters, I think. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and some of the brothers as well. I welcome all of you, with apologies for a slight delay, to this free webinar organized by Balagh Academy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward their efforts. This is just a very simple sort of session where we want to introduce the topic of the Fiqh and Fatawa of women, which is a course, the Fiqh of Women, which is a course that will sort of commence next week, inshallah ta'ala, as I've been told. So this is a introductory free webinar designed for the sisters to explore the contemporary questions related to Muslim women's public and private life. Okay, inshallah, in the next half hour or so, I will just try to talk about certain issues which I feel are very important. And then, inshallah, what we'll do is we'll take some answers, some questions that you might have in relation to this topic and the course that's going to be provided in the next few weeks. The Fiqh and Fatawa of women. The course that Balagh Academy has designed, which has been delivered in the previous years as well, which is the Fiqh of Women, and has various teachers who teach the full course, which is over a period of I don't know how many weeks. I personally, alhamdulillah, honored to at least take a few, 3-4 different classes in this course, and some topics that I also cover. There's other teachers as well, mashallah, who teach, a lot of females involved as well. So this course relates to specifically issues. This course covers specifically issues that relate to our sisters, Muslim women, Muslim sisters. Now, you might ask, why a special course? Why is there a need? Why a special course just for sisters? I mean, by the way, there's no presentation, and we don't have any slides today, etc., because this is just a lecture, like a talk. So normally we have slides, etc., on the screen, so you rather look at the screen than look at me, but unfortunately you'll have to just look down there or somewhere. So why specifically a course designed for Muslim women and sisters? That's a question. I mean, whilst just before this, I had Balagh, alhamdulillah, offer different courses on different topics, different levels. This course is going to be level 1, and then I think it goes to level 2. I don't really know a lot of the details, but I have many sessions I teach as a teacher. Those who are in the admin department and in charge of Balagh will know further details and more details. But just before this, I actually taught for an hour and a half. I just finished about 20 minutes ago, and then actually I was teaching at home the first session, and then I thought I'll come in the office here for this particular class, because I had to come here as well anyway, next to the masjid. But that was a course on business transactions and Islamic finance, an hour and a half. So whilst I was coming from there and driving to here, because this particular thought came to my mind, that this is something that needs to be discussed. Why specifically a course for sisters? Why don't we have Balagh Academy offers various courses, and not just Balagh Academy, everyone, all the different organizations, we offer courses on different topics. So we have a course on Islamic medical ethics in Balagh Academy. This is a very old course at different levels, and so many students, both brothers and sisters, male and female, men and women, have taken part in the fiqh of medicine, and a course level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. There's been courses that have been designed, and courses have been offered on Islamic finance, on food, on halal, on dhabiha, and I don't even know, there's so many other different courses that are offered. But you don't find a course, the fiqh of men. You don't have the course, the fiqh of elderly men, the fiqh of elderly or younger men or younger women, or it's not based. All the courses are based on topics. If you understand what I'm trying to say, all the courses are based on marriage, business, finance, halal, haram, food, dhabiha, interest, riba, medicine, for the people in the field of medication and in the medical field, for doctors. And there might be a course for lawyers, people in the legal, department. So courses are based on topics rather than gender of the person who's attending. All other courses, we have brothers and sisters who attend the courses. And this is throughout, everywhere in the world. Generally, when you have books written as well, books are written on topics. This is a book on Islamic finance. This is a book on marriage. This is a book on divorce. This is a book on family life. This is a book on salah. This is a book on modern issues to do with business and finance. This is a book on modern issues relating to medicine and treatment. It's not about the gender. This is the only course, especially for women, the fiqh of women. Now the men are going to complain. We have feminists and we have feminists. You have feminists who complain about women not being treated well in the world. And you have now feminists who complain about men not being treated well and given equal treatment. All the men are going to start crying. This is not fair. What's so, why women? Why are women so special that you have a special course for women? What have we done wrong? Where's our course gone? This is a question that could come into anyone's mind. Even when I talked about books, we have books on all these topics, but then there are specifically books written on just issues relating to women. Fatawa and Nisa, Fatawa for women. I have a book, I just came in right now, just 1 minute. I just went onto the shelf there, and there's lots of Arabic books there. I just picked up this one. Let me just, as an example, let me just pick one up. Just picked up, this is a book written in Arabic. إزالة الالتباس عن حكم لباس المرأة المسلمة بين النساء. Especially women, fatwa and the rules and the ahkam and the injunctions and the guidelines and the laws relating to the libas, the dress of a Muslim woman. And this actually has been written by a female. This one has been written by a female. Al-Ustadha, look at the name she's put on there. Al-Ustadha Noon bint Muhammad. Noon. She didn't put her name. She just put Noon. I don't know what her first name is, but she felt like not wanting to give her full name, so she just put Noon. In some culture, she's a Syrian scholar. She's an expert on usul al-fiqh. Sorry, I don't know if she's originally Syrian, but she teaches in Kuwait. And she's written a whole book in Arabic on this topic, especially ahkam of libas just for women. Now, to answer this question, that why sometimes, why normally courses, books, discussions are based on topics, but along with the topics, we always add the gender of women, books, especially for women, a course, especially for women. And you don't find that for the male gender or any other gender, if there is one. So why specifically for women? What is the answer? And this is what I want to explain in this few minutes that we have. The answer is simple. Is that we're just trying to make women happy. That's just a joke. But, you know, it could be sometimes, it could be some people, we just want to give importance to women because, you know, there's too many people saying that women are not given importance. So let's give more importance to women. Some people might have that idea that, you know, just especially for women, like, you know, make them feel that they're important because people don't, you know, everything else. But the issue is that everything else is for men and women as well. And that's why some women, they might actually feel offended that why are you singling us out as important? Like you need to make someone feel, see, the feminism is also of different degrees. Some feminists are so extreme level feminism that when you do something for them, they don't like that as well because they think that you're trying to make them feel as though that they weren't important and now you're making them important. This is a very sophisticated mind of feminism. They're like, why are you saying that we have a special? You know, you don't need to treat us special because we're already special. So you're trying to say that we're not special now. You're just trying to be nice to us, you know, just. So some people do it for that reason. Another really important, so that's just, you know, some people do it. But the reason, there's two main reasons. One reason is that a lot of the times females don't have the opportunities, sadly so, they don't have the opportunities to take part in other study circles, or, you know, they don't have as many opportunities where they can study. Men generally have more opportunities now, whether that's right or wrong, and what the reasoning behind that is as well, and why there's not as much female scholarship as male scholarship, etc. That's a whole different discussion. But for this reason, a lot of times books are dedicated, courses are dedicated specifically for women so that this gives them a full chance. Because a lot of the times the teachers are males as well. And of course, the male will always be around males and, you know, there's more opportunities. I've been teaching for the past 15 years, different places, and so many times throughout the country and in different parts of the world, the common question or the common like complaint that comes from sisters is that, you know, while we don't get the opportunity, like, you know, I've traveled somewhere for 3-4 days in another country. We've, you know, had courses or a particular course on a particular topic. In between the course, you have brothers and sisters present and taking part in that course. But the sisters, they will ask questions in the designated Q&A. So, you know, we have like 1 hour question answers. They'll write their questions in just like the brothers. But the brothers have an added advantage is that, you know, in the breaks, you're going to Salah now, or you're going to have tea, or you're going to have lunch, and the brothers are walking with you, and they're talking with you, and they're asking you, and the sisters can't do that. So that's why then a lot of these times people have a special designated. I remember I've been to Toronto, Canada many times, and every time I go there, they have a special designated 1 hour lecture specifically just for sisters. No brothers allowed, only for sisters, and an exclusive Q&A for sisters so that they have full time. So that's one of the reasons. And another reason which I feel, which is a really, really important reason, is this is actually a good reason. And then the main reason is that we find that sisters have generally, this is a really good quality, have more zeal generally, you know, to learn about deen, and they have more interest. A lot of the times we offer courses, I'm not just talking about Al-Balagh, but generally in the world, even physically before COVID, I mean, inshallah, and hopefully COVID ends and we are able to travel again and go to different places. But when I used to travel and when I used to go to different places and all the courses, you always have double the amount of sisters than the brothers. The sisters are there, they're on time, they're punctual, they're more passionate, they want to learn more about deen. So when someone is more eager to learn about deen and more, you know, interested and more passionate about something, then you give them more exclusivity and give them more time. And that is probably one of the reasons why a lot of times, a lot of organizations have exclusive webinars or seminars or courses or classes or special time lectures, programs, especially dedicated to sisters, because they feel that there's more interest and they feel that there's more desire and more sort of desire and this eagerness to learn about Deen. And another reason that comes to mind as well, before I go to the main reason, is that these are reasons just coming to my mind right now. Another reason is that maybe sisters, and one of the reasons is that sisters, because of the nature of their responsibilities and because of the nature of what they do in life, and subhanAllah, they do a lot and they do much more in most cases than men, because they have to juggle between outside life and work as well, and then bringing up children, and then being a mom and being a wife, and I mean the man is being a husband as well. So let's leave that one out, okay? But being a mom, but then the man is being a father as well. But there is a difference. Of course, the man. You see, we have to be careful here because this when we say this is a problem. It's a double-edged sword. It's a problem on two in this current climate. It's a double problem. Like I was saying, the men can complain that they are mothers, so aren't we not fathers? They're wives, so are we not husbands? So the feminists can complain, but even more so, the extreme super feminists can complain because they don't want to I've read feminism quite a lot, and honestly, they subtle things they get offended by. It's crazy. It's like, sometimes you say something good or something about women, or they get more offended with that because they think that means we were not good. Like, why do you have to specially tell us that, you're a good person or you're doing good? We're normal, just like men. You don't go and tell men. But this is, they think that it's an indirect way of thinking that, we're lower than the male gender. But anyway, that's a topic on its own, and feminism, it's a topic that we can talk about another time. But there's no denying of the fact that women do have a greater role to play with children, especially when the children are young. This is, general understanding. Look, men are fathers as well, women are mothers as well. But children, when they are young, then they need their mother more. The role of the mother is greater than the role of the father. When they are older, then the role of the father is more than the role of the mother. This is why Islamic child custody laws are based on this concept. When there's a divorce and separation, for example, between the husband and the wife, Islamic child custody laws are such that when the children are young, they stay with the mother. Whether it's a boy or a girl, when they're young, they stay with the mother. Why? Because the child needs the mother more. There's breastfeeding. I mean, there's no denying of the fact that the man doesn't breastfeed. Yeah, no, I don't think any man breastfeeds. So unless, there's another equality movement wanting to say that it's not fair that, why only women breastfeed and why men not. I mean, the world is crazy nowadays. But anyway, so that in itself, they have to give time for that, and they have to, childbirth itself. This is clear fact. Men don't give birth to children. Men are not pregnant for 9 months or 8 months or whatever. So this is what the Quran said, حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ كَرْهًا عَلَى كُرْهٍ. The mother goes through so many stages before the man even starts his role. 3 roles. This is why the hadith that when the companion said, "Oh Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man ahaqqu an-nasi bi husni suhbati?" Who deserves my good treatment? He said, "Your mother, ummak." Then who? Ummak. Thumma man? Ummak. Thumma abak. Then your father. 3 times your mother. Many scholars have explained this to say that because the mother plays 3 massive roles, 3 stages she undergoes before the man even comes into the picture. Number 1, which is pregnancy. Number 2, childbirth in itself takes a massive toll on a woman. And number 3, breastfeeding. And then after that, the man, takes on his role. So these things are there, and this prevents women. Well, it doesn't prevent, sorry. It doesn't give them as much opportunity to sort of study, when she's pregnant. This is why Allah gives holidays to women as well every month. What's the holiday? When a woman is on her menstrual period, you've got 8, 9, 10 days of holidays from prayer and from fasting. If it's Ramadan, you make up for the fast, but you don't make up for the prayer. The holidays. This is what we call a holiday. Why? Because why the man wasn't given a holiday? These are real issues of differences. In Islam, there is similarity. There is equality. Sorry. In Islam, there is equality between men and women, but there is no similarity. There is dissimilarity. And a lot of the times in the world today, we confuse these two things. Equality, inequality is one thing, similarity, dissimilarity is something else. There is definitely equality between men and women. There is definitely equality between men and women, and Allah says we treat men and women equally. But there is no denying of the fact that men and women are different. There are different genders, there are different, emotionally they are different, psychologically they are different, physically they are different, biologically they are different, their mindset is different, their roles are different. And because of the differences in their characteristics, and because of the way their nature, their minds, and their physical differences and the emotional differences, Allah has assigned different roles. The man's role is different, that's suited to the man. The woman's role is different. The job and task and responsibilities for a woman is different based on the way Allah created women. So because of that, the woman's responsibilities when children are young, when children are growing up, when she's breastfeeding, like for example, when she might not able to study as much. The man is going around doing his normal business when his wife is pregnant, and the man doesn't take, the woman takes off time from work for 9 months, 8 months, 7 months. The man doesn't. He might take a few weeks out just to be by the side of his wife and help her, but he is not physically carrying the child. So he can do things as he wants. And then childbirth time, and then breastfeeding time, and then first few years, the mother spends more time. So these kind of things, all these roles and activities not again the word prevent, but reduces the chances of a woman taking part and learning as much as a man can, and the chances that the man and the opportunities that the man has. And this is why we need specific, exclusive, time given to women that, look, you might have missed out because of all those different things. Here's your time to learn. So these are just some small reasons. And the main reason, time is, I just went on to this discussion of this. I don't know, sometimes I just go on a topic and I carry on. But the main reason, and this is what I want to talk about, why we have a discussion specifically, a course specifically, a book written specifically, a dedicated department for discussing the issues of women, why we need to study the fiqh and fatwa relating to women, is because of the nature of the rules prescribed in Shari'a. Generally, the rules that are given apply both to men and women. This is my main reason. They apply both to men and women. Like when Allah says, offer salah. Salah is for both men and women. 5-time prayers, both men and women. Fasting, for men, for women. Zakat, for men, for women. Hajj, men, women. So all the rules of Hajj will be studied by men and women. All the rules of Zakat will be studied by men and women. Of course, there might be differences in those rules. So like, for example, how to pray, for example, the women rules about praying might be slightly different to the men, the rules relating to women, the men, how to pray. Like, for example, menstruation as well. So then she's forgiven to pray, like I just mentioned. There might be some rules about certain things in Hajj that the men do differently from women and women do differently from men. Marriage is for men and women. So if there's a course on marriage, for example, it's for men, for women, but yes, of course, the rules will be slightly different. Some things that the men need to learn, but it's similar, like equal amounts of things that they both have to learn. So if you look at all the other courses, they are general for men and women. But the nature that Allah has made women is that there are added rules for women. Why? Because that's how Allah chose. There are added rules, specific added rules for women in our deen, in our Shari'a. There are added rules, there are added guidelines because maybe so, Allahu Alam, because women play a massive role. Maybe because the way Allah created women and more precious, more rules, more. I'm just trying to make this happy, the feminist movement happy, maybe more precious. The more someone is more important, the more guidelines and the more rules are attached to that gender, and because there's more injunctions and rules and guidelines. So this is the nature of our deen. Every other topic for men and women, you don't have any specific things, like there's no specific chapter that there's one ibadah that's just for men. When we say salah is for men and women. Yes, there's something specific for men, if you understand the difference. Salah is for both men and women, but there are something specific for men, but there are something specific for women in salah as well. So that balances itself out. So salah, saum, zakat, hajj, all these rules are for both genders. But when it comes to women, there are some extra things, topics on its own, extra things. Like, for example, menstruation. Men don't experience menstruation. Now, that's an extra chapter, fiqh of women. Menstrual periods, haid, a very, very important topic that you really need to learn about. It can get very, very complicated. Nifas, postnatal bleeding, bleeding after the birth of a child, and istihada, chronic bleeding. This is a whole chapter. There's books on this topic, a dedicated chapter of rules exclusively for women. They don't apply to men. Okay, so that's a whole area and branch which is relating to women, which doesn't, there's nothing of that topic. There's nothing from that topic that relates to men. Nothing. There's nothing in that topic of menstruation, nifas, and istihada that, oh, some rules are for men, some rules are for women. This is exclusively a branch, a topic, a subject which relates to females. Another example, and some of these things will be covered in this course. Another example, beautification. Now, beautification, this is a specific topic for women. Why? Because Islam has encouraged women to adorn themselves and beautify themselves, not men. You know, we have 3 stages. We have the stage of tahara. Tahara means purity. Yeah, before salah, we'll have chapter on purity, wudu, ghusl, making sure that, you know, you wash yourself after urinating, and after that, how to take a ghusl, and how to take a bath, and how to cleanse yourself, and istinja, and tayammum, dry ablution, and najasa, you know, on your body, clothes, you know, all these things, especially tahara for ibadah, for salah, etc., state of impurity, janaba, sexual relations, you know, these type of topics. So that tahara is for both men and women, and that's why when we study tahara, it's for both men and women. Then there's a next level, which is nadafa. Tahara is basic purity, state of purity, performing wudu, ablution, ghusl, and making sure that there's no blood, urine, sperm, etc. discharge on your body. This is for both men and women. Then you get a second stage, which is nadafa, which is cleanliness. You could be pure, you could acquire tahara, but not nadafa. Nadafa is cleanliness. So basically, I'm pure, I've got wudu, and I don't have any blood or anything on my body, or urine, anything like that, najas, but I have curry, and I have, you know, like my clothes are filthy, dirty, you know, all these stains and curry stains, and I smell, etc. So that's, nadafa is cleanliness. That's a second level. And there's rules for nadafa of making sure that your body is clean, your clothes are clean, and your house is clean, and your room is clean. And, you know, this is for both men and women as well. But then there's a third stage. And that third stage is called the stage of tahalli, adornment. The stage of adornment, tahalli, which is beautification, adornment. This is discouraged, actually sinful to if you go to an extent, for men. Beautification is not for men. Men are not supposed to become women here. Men are not supposed to put makeup and stand next to a mirror and, you know, spend 2 hours in front of the mirror beautifying themselves. They do tahara and they do nadafa. That's about it. But that third level is specifically for women. Why for women? It's just natural. I mean, and it's built, it's naturally built. It's the way Allah created. I mean, even if you look at young children, it's subhanAllah, it's so just amazing that Allah, the way Allah created, you know, I have a son and a daughter. You can see it's just built in. You know, my daughter, she's 7 now, I think. Yeah. She's so concerned about, but then my hair will go this way, or do I have to put, no, but this one doesn't look good, or this, in my head, and like, I don't want to wear this because my friends will look at it, or this. My son he wears anything or whatever, he doesn't care anything. But she's just so worried. It's from a young age, built in. Allah is Khaliq. This is why when we talk about feminism, we say that, look, who created men? Who created women? He knows best what is required by each gender. He is the Khaliq. So leave it to the Khaliq. He knows how he created women. He knows that beautification is something only for women. So therefore, now all the rules of beautification will apply only to, what time is it? Only to women. So women will want to know about cosmetics, about creams, about surgery, about adornment, about makeup, about eyeliners, about fake, eyelashes. We'll want to know about colored contact lenses, jewelry, gold jewelry, silver jewelry. Jewelry is haram for men. Men are not supposed to wear jewelry. It's absolutely haram for men wearing earrings, all of that. That's haram. There's no rules for men in there. You just don't wear. It just doesn't apply to you. You stick with your tahara and stick with your nadafa. Stay clean, neat, tidy, as a presentable, good man, and that's it. You don't have to start going and putting makeup on and stuff like that and try to beautify yourself as a man. Just it looks really bad on a man as well. And even for women, if you overdo it, it looks bad anyway. But beautification to an extent is specifically for women. I've given you 2 examples. And this is why women have additional rules. And this is the reason, the fundamental reason why we need to have special courses. And then another 3rd example here, which is, I didn't want to use this as an example, but let's use it as examples because people think that this is, an additional ruling, but it's not really an additional ruling. But in like this book that was written, Libasul Mar'a, special fatwa and books on the topic of libas, covering. Now, that's one of the sessions that I do, actually. And I actually explain there because a lot of times, I wouldn't use that as an example, as an exclusive special rules for women, because even men have those rules. Yes, there's a reason why we give it more, more dedication to when it comes to women, because the rules, this is like an example where there are rules for both men and women, but because the rules of women are so much more than the men, it kind of becomes like a topic that is only for women. If you've understood what I'm saying, let me repeat that again. Like Salah, there's rules for men and women, so we don't say, special rules. Salah is not an example where you need to talk about the rules of women separately because both men and women have been given the rules. But the rules of dress code, because the rules for women are much more. This is also, dress code is also something which is common between men and women. There are rules for men and there are rules for women. When we talk about that, I'll say that, look, hijab is not just a woman thing. Hijab means a barrier, and there's a set of laws that Islam gives. And these set of laws that Islam gives is for both men and women. There are certain laws Allah has given, commanded, and certain rules and injunctions for men and certain rules for women. So men have certain laws and rules, like men can't go around naked. The man's aura is from the navel to the knees, has to cover. The man can't wear things which are so tight and see-through, and tight jeans that you can see the figure and shape of his thighs, etc. The man can't be with another woman in khalwa. The man can't do this. There's rules for men as well. But the rules for women are far more, and that's why it looks like that these are exclusive rules for women, because they're much more. Why much more? Because again, Allah created women, and the rules of dress, the rules of cover, the women have to cover much more, the rules of hijab, the rules of niqab, the full body being covered, and then also intermingling with the opposite gender. But again, that applies to men as well. Just like women, men are not supposed to intermingle with women freely and casually. Women are not supposed to intermingle freely, casually with men. So this is something that applies to both. So this is a topic where sometimes it's presented as though it's a women thing, that only women need to wear, and women need to cover, and women need to do this. Well, men need to cover as well. You can't have men naked, women, you wear the niqab and wear everything, and men, you just go around naked everywhere. Of course not. Men, you guys need to also cover. You have rules as well. But we'll talk about that when the time comes, inshallah, if I have that session. But anyway, so these are certain examples of issues that require special dedication. And this is why we have a separate discussion on the fiqh and fatawa for women. There's lots of examples. Now, just to finish off, and then we'll take some questions. All these issues that come about, because there are new rules and separate rules, takes time. I mean, I've been, even on, I have a website, not the Balagh website, but I have my own website, which, sorry, my phone fell down, which is darifta.com. I mean, maybe I'll just show it here. There is share screen. Okay, just to give you some, like an example. Just 1 minute, just to give you an example of women issues. Just 2 minutes on this, and then we'll take question answers. Okay, where is it gone? Share screen. I think the screen has come up. Okay. This is my website, darifta.com. Okay. I just want to just show you here all answers, and then I think we have, yeah, look, browse answers. Yeah. Look, Aqidah, sacred knowledge, Aqidah for both men and women, sacred knowledge for both men and women, Tahara, purity, both men and women, Salah, both men and women, Zakat, both men and women, Sawm, men and women, Hajj, men and women, business and trade, men and women, marriage, men and women, Talaq, divorce, men and women, food and drink, only men, women don't eat, sorry, for both men and women, death and burial, only men die, no, men and women both die, inheritance, men and women, and then women's issues. Where's the men's issues? Where's the men's? I've actually thought, I've never spoken about this, but even when we made this website, this is about 15 years old website, like we've been having, this thought has crossed my mind. No, why not men's issues? This is the first time I'm actually talking about this in this way. And then miscellaneous for both men and women. Women issues, what are the men's issues? Why do we have to have women's issues? So like I've explained, I don't know how many reasons that just came to my mind randomly. The main one I had thought about, but before that, those 3-4 other reasons that I mentioned. So the main reason is that there's extra rules for women, but those other reasons as well. Now, if you look at women's issues, okay, these are women's 22 so far here. Ruling on various types of vaginal discharge. Now, this is something specific to women as well. Okay. Is it? Yeah, women's issues. Look, plucking, trimming, shaping, shaving. I've talked about this in a lot of detail. This is one of my fatwas I wrote, a detailed explanation. This is part of beautification. Part of beautification, so it only applies to women. Fake eyelashes, part of beautification. Women exposing the arms whilst driving. Now that's part of the dress code, which is for men and women. But like I said, this dress code issues, because there's lots of rules for women, it looks like that it's a specific, then again, aura issues. There's some things here, do old women will have to wear hijab, piercing of body parts. So you'll see it's either part of cosmetics and beautification, or it's part of, dress code and hijab, etc. Female voice and singing, permanent body hair removal for women, women cutting their hair, breastfeeding during pregnancy. Look, now that's specific for women. Female Islamic dress code, rings made of, status of wearing a jilbab, women seeking medical treatment from male doctors, traveling without a mahram, comprehensive guide to a woman's nakedness. So this is just an example of certain issues. And we take a lot of time out to look at these issues and research them and then come to sort of some conclusions, inshallah. So this was just a summary. And inshallah, as the course will be presented and will be covered over the next few weeks, I don't really know how many teachers there are and how many weeks in total you'll be told and what the exact topics are. But inshallah, it will be good if you can take part and undergo this course, inshallah ta'ala. If you have any questions, we can take some questions, inshallah. We have a lot of participants. I'm just going to did everyone? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so if I understood you correctly, the reasons you gave for having a course just on women were quite a few. In terms of desire to learn the deen and not having an opportunity to learn the deen, those wouldn't qualify because having a course specifically on women, this is to do with the content of the course itself. If you wanted to solve the issue of women not having an opportunity to learn or being very eager to learn, you would simply give them the courses that both men and women do. So that doesn't actually answer the question. But in terms of what you said, that the actual answer seems to be that there are so many more rules that are very specific to women. Therefore, we need a separate topic that's just dealing with women's issues.
That's right. The main answer is the last one, the main cause. This is why I dedicated more time to that. The other ones were just, they came to mind, and it depends. Sometimes they may sort of they may occur, they may not occur. They may be in certain times. Some people might have more opportunities in some places, some countries, some eras. People might have less opportunities. So they're not the main reasons. They're like side reasons. They could play a role. They could, play a role in women not having the opportunities to learn. But like in today's day and age, like it's because now a lot of things are going online, etc. So ilm is more easily accessible now. Before, in the early, maybe these reasons were more applicable in the times before, earlier, but not so much now. But these were just side reasons. They could play a role, but they're not the main reasons. Sure. But the main reason is the last one.
So if we stick with the main reason, according to what you said then, every single topic that we will encounter on this course is more pertinent towards women because there are a lot more rules that apply to women on every single topic that we will be covering. Is that correct?
Inshallah, yeah. I mean, I can't guarantee you, and then you come back and say, astaghfirullah, I'm going to have a word with you because you promised, So with that, I mean, inshallah, I think most likely, I mean, I've not designed the whole course, but maybe you could talk to the admin and see and go through the topics in terms of the details of the courses. I'm just one of the teachers, but I would think so that is the reason, inshallah. I mean, that would be the case.
Well, if it wasn't the case, then your argument wouldn't make sense because that then couldn't be the reason.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that would be the main thing, but they might just, as a supplement, you might just get something added as a supplement. It's mainly for, I would say not 100%, but let's say 99%. Sometimes as a supplement, just added that you're doing a course specifically for women issues, but just add something to it just as a supplement. So that's not a problem.
And the other thing, you were talking about beautification. I've forgotten, I think it might have been Ibn Abbas, but I may have the name wrong. But there was a companion of the Prophet who said, I like to beautify myself for my wife in the same way as I like her to beautify herself for me. So how would you understand that in the context of what you said?
Very, very good, very good question. This is from Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, and I actually quoted him in one of my books. I don't know if any of you have seen this book. I have a book, Islamic Guide to Sexual Relations. I wrote this book about 10 years ago. It's a very detailed book. Actually, I was going to talk about some issues from here as well. In there, I've got a chapter, in the beginning, we have preparing for sexual relations, and then there's a whole section about preparing, okay? Preparing. In preparing, we talked about cleanliness and personal hygiene, both for men and women, and then adornment and beautification. And in there, I've actually talked about this, that adornment, beautification, how we understand it. You see, it's a term, it's a word. When Abdullah ibn Abbas was saying, I like to beautify myself, which means that I like to keep myself clean. I like to be presentable. That the meaning of adornment when it relates to a man is when He's not dirty. He's not filthy. A man is not in before his wife. He's dirty. He's smelly. He's smoking cigarettes, and he's got all, smelly breath and mouth and clothes and everything. He's not kept, and this is how a man should be in terms of his appearance and this is why, because some men, and I've actually got a whole discussion of 3 pages in this book, that some men think that they don't have to at all do anything in order to be presentable before their wives. They feel that, it doesn't matter. They could be in their work clothes. They could smell off, whatever they can smell off, and just go, and they would expect their wives to engage in intimacy with them because they're a man, and men don't need to. So that's what Ibn Abbas was trying to say. And this is why there's a lot of emphasis on ensuring that the man is presentable, he's clean, he has perfume. See, perfume, it's not part of what we think adornment. It's just a good fragrance. This is part of a man's cleanliness. But adornment is a level extra. When we talk about women, like makeup and all the other forms of adornment, those are actually haram for men, the other forms of adornment. So what Abdullah ibn Abbas was saying, he was referring to cleanliness and good presentation.
So he wasn't referring to beauty at all.
Not. You see the word beauty.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Just 1 second. The word beauty it's relative. You see, we're just using words in English right now. Someone can say beauty for me is making sure that, I just clean my hands, there's no dirty, that's part of beauty. Somebody thinks that no, beauty is, extra. So it's a relative word, it's an English word, beauty could mean 100 and, from starting from this corner to that corner. So it's an English word. We shouldn't be playing with the semantics of English words, what it means. Basically, adornment, like jewelry, for example, if you look at specific things, jewelry is haram for men. Men are clearly not allowed in Islam to adorn themselves, or you want to say beautify themselves, or you want to say cleanse themselves, or whatever you want to use with jewelry. That's a physical example that it is absolutely categorically forbidden for men to wear any form of gold or silver jewelry. Even a silver ring as a form of jewelry is haram for a man. The only permission was given as a form of, stamping purposes. But as adornment, it's not allowed.
Can I ask one last question?
Yeah, I don't know, somebody else was...
Sister, I would just request that it's better if you, one student asks one question in order to make room for all the students, because we have a lot of sisters waiting for questions and we do not have that much time. So I would request some other student to ask a question, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, are we following a particular madhab in this course?
We will be mentioning in various topics, the different madhabs will mention what they say generally, but more so we will follow the Hanafi school in the majority of the time. So there'll be more emphasis. There will be a mention of, okay, this is mentioned in the Shafi'i madhab, in the Maliki madhab, but there'll be more focus and more details on the Hanafi school, inshallah. If the answer is
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Brother, is there like a book which compiles actually fatawi for nisa of different shuyukh? And also, is there like that you can recommend? Is there like a youth for Muslim, a young Muslim book for fatwa? Jazakumullah khair.
I can't think of anything that comes in mind in English, specifically fatwa for women. But there's a few written in Arabic, fatawa and nisa, etc. But inshallah, let me think about this, and then inshallah, if you can email or something, and we can maybe at the beginning of the course, we can also actually make a reading list of books specifically written, whether in Arabic or whether in English, and I can't think of anything right now at the moment. Sorry, on this topic. Yeah, go ahead. Salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go.
Okay. Brother, I just want to know, is the class over for today or did I miss it? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, just it's question answers now and it's finished. I mean, this was just an introductory session, and then inshallah the admin will tell you how the course is going to happen or whatever, all the details.
Okay, brother. I have a quick question. It's actually a family issue, but I just wanted to put it up. It is regarding women only. This is regarding basically the wasiya of my grandmother who passed away, and her children, there are 9 of them, and the girls are separate and the boys are separate. I mean, in the sense that the girls and boys shares were all mixed up after she passed away. And the main hold of the shares were in the name of the eldest brother, and he apparently misappropriated and didn't distribute, or what, I don't know. But my question is, if one of them, of the girls especially, they decided to bring up this matter, is it a love for the girl to the girl being an older woman? Can she shout out loud saying to the rest of the family members, sending emails saying my right was not granted, and she was like blaspheming him? Is that allowed to do in Islam if the share was not, if she was not got her portion or whatever
If she was not given a portion, then allowed what to do what, sorry?
Is she allowed to come out in open, like sending emails to the rest of the family and all the grandchildren or the other siblings, children, to each and every one, mentioning the particular person and how she was, how he did not give his due right, and how he basically cheated her of her share or whatever. So my question is, can she in open do this to the rest of the family or to the rest of, I mean, according to her, she said, Islam says that I can do it if my right is deprived. I can come out and tell my right is deprived and get to my right. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Look, anyone, whether it's a woman, man, anyone in the family inheritance, if they're not given their share, this is a major haram, major. This topic of inheritance is really important. Not giving people the inheritance right is one of the greatest crimes in Islam. One of the greatest crimes. It's a massive sin. And sadly, people don't take care of this. This is a major kabira haram to sort of deprive. So if anyone is being deprived, and if they can definitely demand and they can ask and talk to family members.
Can she blaspheme him? In this case, the one of the brother basically saying
no, you can't. I mean, you can't blaspheme anyone. Anyone shouldn't do it in a way. I mean, you should do it in a way that's cordial and it's with respect and with other, in a nice way. You can't do that with anyone. I mean, generally, you can't swear and start slandering, but you can take any course of action that you think will help you get your right. Yeah, whether you go and talk to some family members, some elder family members, get legal court people, local imam, masjid, influential people, get them involved and say, look, can you please sort this out and help me, give me my right? She can do it.
She can do it, but okay, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. I felt like, I know that it is a major haram and we learned it, but I didn't know if she was allowed to come out and blaspheme a sort of, her sibling for this, or saying that this was my haqq was not given to me, or whatever it is. But in her version, the rest of the siblings are saying, oh, that was, it was taken care in another way, but she claims it is not. So, and she's showing the proof. So that's all. I just wanted to know whether she could do that or not. Jazakallah khair.
That's fine, no problem.
Assalamu alaikum. If anyone has any kind of questions related to the course content, the details, anything, you all can just send a text message to our communications team on WhatsApp. The number is mentioned on the chat box. For now, we'll just take one more question before we end, inshallah. So, Sister Mahjabeen, you can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to know what is the extent to which a woman can, like if she's going out, so it's like if she wants to do minimal makeup or something like that.
Sorry, I can't hear. Can you speak a bit? I can't hear it a bit clear. Yeah, go on.
I
Can you
wanted
repeat?
to ask that is doing makeup in front of the non-mahram men is something, if that is considered to be a major sin, and if a woman is going out, so like, is she allowed to do minimal makeup, something that which is not very obvious, or to like the other people if they can see her face?
Yeah, you see, makeup and adornment in front of non-mahram men is, we will talk about this in the course, inshallah, but yeah, it's not really allowed. Because beautifying yourself in front of where men see your face and they're attracted to your face, etc., generally that's not allowed for women to do. But then if it's very subtle, maybe that might be permissible. If it's so subtle that it's not like adornment, it's more like just appearance to the basic, so you might get away with it. But it's best to avoid, to do makeup of the face in front of non-mahram men. And there's no need for it as well. So it's best to avoid it. But generally, it definitely, if a woman is putting a lot of makeup and eyeliners and eyeshadows and all these kind of, doing a face up and going in front of non-mahram men, then that is not permissible. Somebody asked a question on the side, if I just read this as well, that subject of men says that it affects men as well. Yeah, I know. It does affect men as well indirectly, but because they live with women, so it's important to know. Of course, I was going to say that as well. It does, but we're talking about directly. There may be some men, it might not affect them. They might not live with a woman. There might be a man. I know a few men who never lived with a woman. They're not married. They're just by themselves. So they just don't need it. So, but you know what I was saying, that directly affects women specifically. But yeah, women need to learn about menstruation as well. It's good for them to learn, inshallah. And I'm just reading just these questions aside. Men looking after their hair, beard, etc. Adornment. It doesn't come under adornment. This is, again, we're getting this confusion. Adornment is a level extra. This is just, just combing your hair, just keeping neat and clean and tidy. That's the basic level. That's nadafa, cleanliness. Okay, I think we'll stop there, inshallah. I think these were just some.
Is this course every Saturday? We have it Saturday at the same time, brother, 2 o'clock?
I don't know. You'll have to, the sister can answer that.
Sister, if you have any questions related to the admin issues as well as the content of the course, please text us via WhatsApp on our communications team. The details is on the chat box.
Jazakallah.
So can I ask one last question, if that's okay?
Okay, I'm fine with that.
My question, Assalamu alaikum, Mufti Sahib. My question is regarding adornment. I know our Deen, mashallah, puts a lot of emphasis on the relationship between a husband and a wife, hence the emphasis of a wife on adorning herself for the husband. But my question is regarding adornment in front of other mahrameen. And when the woman is going outside, when her face is covered, like for instance, she's even going with her husband, but her face is covered. But I've heard of opinions that she shouldn't be wearing any makeup at all. She's not wearing makeup on her eye, but wearing makeup otherwise. Is that not permissible? And what about wearing makeup in front of other mahrams?
I think, is that the same question that I just answered about mahram makeup in front of mahram men?
No, I actually specifically came across an opinion which said that makeup shouldn't be should only and only be worn for a husband.
No, there's three things. Yeah, I understand. Okay, I understand your question. There's three things: makeup in front of other men, makeup just for your husband, and makeup when it's not for your husband, but it's not also for other men, but it's just like amongst women or for your own self.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is allowed. There might be some people who say, but there's no reason to say that's not allowed. Sometimes some women like to put makeup on just to feel good, just for your own self. Makeup for your own self, because you look in the mirror and you want to be attracted to your own self. Yeah, self-love, no problem. There's no wrong with that. You just want to look in your mirror and say, Alhamdulillah, I look really amazing. MashaAllah, I look good. So it's okay. There's no specific Sharia ruling that it has to be. This is the topic that we'll talk about, that it's not everything a woman does in terms of adornment is for her husband.
And if the face is covered outside, it's fine as long as the eyes is not adorned.
Yeah.
Jazakallah
The main
khair
thing
for
is that
answering.
it's not. The main thing is that it's not in front of other men. If it's for your husband, or if it's for your own self, or if it's for your own confidence, it's for your own happiness. Fine, no problem.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked here that can you see us at the? I don't know what's that. I can't see no sisters here today. I don't know if someone's asking that question, so don't worry about that, inshallah. I don't know if anyone's thinks.
Sorry, one more question, brother, to do with women in employment. Like female chaplaincy and working alongside the brother imams, and the ruling on that. On the
Sorry, repeat that again.
The women status and women working alongside a man, imams, in hospital setting or prison setting or any other setting, and what are the do's and don'ts?
Look, the rules are similar for men and women here, whether men are working besides women or women are working besides men. Rules are, we'll talk about it in one of the courses, inshallah. One of the sessions that I teach, there's a whole discussion on the rules of hijab. And I go into a lot of explanation explaining the laws of Islam in relation to hijab. Hijab doesn't mean the head cover. Hijab means a set of rules that apply to men and women. So one of the things is that interaction. Same rules apply to men as they apply to women. If men are working next to women, or women are, a man can't be alone with a woman in a room and there's no third person. A woman can't be with a man in a room and there's no third person. A man is not allowed to talk, casually, freely, flirtatiously with a woman. A woman is not allowed to talk casually, flirtatiously, freely with a man. I'll give a lot of examples. If it's basic necessity, you can talk. But if, more than basic necessity, and how was your day, and how is it, and did you sleep well, and was it okay, and how's things, and what did you do, and what did you have for dinner, and how was your pizza, and all of that. This is unnecessary conversation that's not allowed for a woman or a man, haram for both. So the same rules apply for both men and women.
Jazakumullah khair.
Okay, I think we leave it there, inshallah. I just want to answer, I think just some people have typed out the questions. There's just 2, 3, but there's one just gone up. I think, can this chat thing, which has gone, I just saw it and now it's gone down. Can you take it back? In this chat, yeah, I saw, yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to look at it here. This Fariha Mukhtar, she asked this question. This is a good question. I would like to know what's the ruling regarding looking at non-mahram men, such as the current setting. This is a very good question. I want to explain this just briefly. But again, in the course, I have a lengthy explanation on this topic. I think if you attend the course, inshallah, especially that session on hijab rules, I'll explain this in a lot of detail. In terms of looking at the opposite gender, the normal ruling is the Quran says, tell the believing men to lower their gazes, and tell the believing women to lower their gazes. The rule is for both. This talks about looking at the opposite gender with lust, in a sexual way. When you feel a desire, sexual desire, or desire in the heart or something, then looking at the opposite gender is haram. Let alone opposite gender. In this day and age, we have to even say that if someone has those sexual thoughts looking at the same gender, then it's even haram to look at the same gender. If a man feels a sexual desire looking at another man, then he needs to keep his gaze low. If a woman feels sexual desire looking at another woman as well, so this is evil glances, sexual glances. This is both for men and women. The normal ruling is that if a man is looking at a woman and doesn't feel sexual desire, etc., it is permissible for a man to look at a woman. And for a woman is exactly the same as well. If she doesn't feel that desire, then she can look at a man as well. The moment when there's a doubt, fear about feelings, desire, then it's not allowed neither for men and neither for women. That's the simple ruling. However, one last thing is that generally there's more chances of a man feeling sexual desire than there are for women. And that's the nature Allah created. men and women are different. Men are more naughty than women. It's just the nature of the man. So therefore, the men, the rule is more strict. That look, in most cases, if you're looking at a woman, you will feel, sexual thoughts and stuff like that. You desires, you will. So therefore, just try always to keep your gaze low and don't look. And just only look when you're absolutely sure. And for women, because normally most of the cases, most of the times, the desire is not there. So there's more flexibility that, okay, look, it's not a problem. But if you start feeling that you feel some thoughts in your mind, then straight away don't look from that moment onwards, or don't look at a person that who you feel you'll find those thoughts. But the ruling is same. It's based on sexual desire and feelings for both men and women. But it's like we're saying for the men that you will get sexual desire until you're not sure that you won't, then don't look. And for the woman, we're coming from this side that you can look because you won't get the desire, and until you feel that you do get it, then don't look. So it's the same thing, but it's just coming from two different sides. Marital rape, that's a lengthy topic. We'll leave that. You can read up on it. I've written articles on it on my website. I have a lengthy discussion on that as well.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this question regarding in the comment section about the fiqh of proposing, or finding a potential spouse, and it's been repeated by multiple sisters, and it's a prevalent issue in our culture. So if you could shed some light over it.
Okay, we'll end with this, inshallah. Okay, is that fine? Okay, so basically the question is about finding a spouse.
Yeah, the question reads here as, what about the fiqh of proposing? For example, how much to cover while seeing a potential spouse? What if the parents or the husband don't allow to do niqab? That's a different question. Or, should you send your picture to a marriage bureau or a matrimonial website or a guy's family before the first meeting?
There's a few things here. They're all kind of related. In terms of proposing, one thing I'll say, that if you, in terms of proposing, before we start, a man can propose to a woman, and likewise a woman can propose to a man. This is, again, a cultural thing. There's nothing in Islam that says a proposal has to always come from men, or the man's family, or the groom's family, or from his parents. It is equally fine. Proposals, marriage negotiations can begin, can commence, interest can be shown from either side. There's nothing wrong. I have another book actually I've written. I mean, if you can get hold of it, I don't have it here, but it's on my website. It's called, it's 40 hadiths on marriage that I compiled, and then there's commentary explanation on each hadith on marriage. In there, I've brought 2 hadiths specifically show, and then I've explained in commentary that it is permissible for a woman herself to propose, and not just to propose, even to suggest to her father or her wali or her guardian or her parents that she would like to marry someone. Why would she know that she would like to marry someone? Because someone told her, she found out about, or she saw that person, etc., whatever. And there's hadiths, where from the female companions, some came and requested themselves, presented themselves to marriage on the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or another companion, or a young sahabiya asking her father that she would like to marry such and such person. So this is perfectly fine. There's not a problem in negotiating and in proposing. It can come from the woman's family, but as long as it's done with adab, it's done with respect, it's done with keeping Islamic rules in mind. There's no anything haram taking place. And if someone is trying to sort of have a proposal or negotiations about marriage, or discussion about marriage, it is permissible to have a meeting, set up a meeting where the man and the woman, the male and the female, they can sit together. But again, no rules of Sharia must be broken. One of the basic rules of Sharia is that you can't have a man and a woman in khalwa, alone in seclusion, where there's no third person. That's totally haram, even if it's for marriage. So you can't be alone in a room. If you're in a house where there's other people in the house, the door's open, And okay, these two can sit there, but people can come in and go out, like someone bring tea and then go out, give a bit of time, they can talk to each other, and then someone comes in, comes out, etc. You can have that meeting, but in that meeting, no other rules must be broken. So the woman must make sure that she covers with, properly as she is required to cover her hair, hijab. She can keep her face open so the man can see the face, because it's important to see the face. If she covers her face, and she can open it for that occasion, she covers herself, body, etc. You can't, show body parts. Just general discussions can be had, and khalwa is not allowed in that situation. In terms of sending a picture, etc., it's the same thing. If it's with a hijab, etc., if there's genuinely it's for marriage, then if someone wants to see how you look, fine, because the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually encouraged in that book. I've got hadiths about making sure that you look at the face of the person you're marrying, because there was one companion who got married and he came to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, "Did you see?" No, he proposed for marriage. So he said, "Did you see her before marriage, or before, proposing and sending your proposal?" He said, "No." So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to the companion, he said, "Undur ilayha, go and see her. Go and فإنه I can't remember the Arabic now, but something فإنه أن يؤدم بينكما. There's something else word before that. أن يؤدم فإنه أحرى. That's it. فإنه أحرى أن يؤدم بينكما. This will make your love and your relationship last longer. It will help in your relationship more if you go and see her, because you need to be attracted. You can't just get married without seeing, and then afterwards you're not attracted towards the woman that you've married. So both men and women need to see each other, whether they see each other physically. If they can't see each other physically, then if you think that your picture is going to be safe, it's not going to go into the hands of a third party, it's not going to go to someone else, there's no possibility of a non-mahram seeing it. I don't know if that's possible or not, but if all those things are taken care of, that you ensure that no non-mahram is, you have confidence and trust that no non-mahram man will see your picture, etc., and you're just showing your face to that person and it's only for marriage, then that's permissible, inshallah. Is that okay?
Yeah, Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh. Barakallahu feekum for a wonderful session. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. On behalf of Balagh Academy, I sincerely thank you for taking this wonderful session for our students and for all of us.
Jazakallah. It's an honor for me, inshallah. And I hope people will register for the course, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
Definitely. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.